face. YouTube. Hello, this is John Lobdell, a poet from the San Francisco Bay Area. If you're seeing this on YouTube, then like and subscribe, as they always say. I hope you enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting here with a couple of friends. We do this every Wednesday. So what do I do? Oh, I do this. Brenda, you know this from Brema. Body mind.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know the new name for it. It used to be called palming the eyes. Just put them right over your eyes where they're comfortable. More times. Oh, Barbara's here. Cool. All right, I'll let her in. Hello, Barbara. Can you hear us? Maybe you're in your car.
Hello, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for joining. So we have Brenda and Glenda and me. Brenda and Glenda. And Barbara.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, let's see. What do I do?
You put on your glasses.
I put on my glasses. So I can't see. And read from I have a new book out, but I haven't got the copy yet. So this is from one of my old books called Outside Pete's Coffee.
Mhm.
I'm sitting outside Pete's Coffee. Next to my table is a water feature. Sheets of water pour over the edge of a perfectly level stone bowl. In the wind, the water shatters into white tails. It's a hot day. Stray drops of water refresh my face. At the next table, an old man is reading. At his feet, a dog is lying. Once in a while, he looks up at the man or a passing person, then puts his snout on the ground and sighs. At another table, a man is talking loudly in some foreign language. He's either talking to his phone or a young girl who's looking at her phone. For some reason, I don't like him. His loud voice, the girl ignoring him. A pretty girl walks by. I find myself looking at her too long. A blackbird lands on the edge of the water fountain, looks around with its yellow eyes, then it poops in the water and flies off. I move to the other side of the table, not wanting those water drops now. I remember one drop fell on my lip into my mouth. To die from that drop would be a meaningless death, I think. The man with the dog gets up. The dog walks stiffly by his side. Some children put their hands in the water. They're laughing. I don't say anything about the bird, the poop. Their young immune systems will protect them. I stare at my paper cup in happy resignation. I'm not worried about dying now. What happens will happen. All that matters is I'm here now.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh. Barbara gives it a thumbs up. Let's see. This is called Walking with Jesus. Often when I think of Jesus, I think of walking with him, and it's always in the middle of the journey. and dusty countryside, where people are working the land, where there are smells of sweat and animals and bread baking, a place where the beginning and end are only thoughts. We would feel the uneven earth under our thin sandals. Nothing would be special except the company of souls seeking the moment we know we are here. Maybe I would walk alongside him, and maybe for a long time not speak. When we did, it might be something simple, maybe about a lamb running after its mother, or we would see ourselves running toward the Father, and we would see. Then we would just be walking again, knowing we could walk that way forever. Time would disappear. Jerusalem and destiny would be 1,000,000 miles ahead. It would just be me and my brothers and sisters walking one step after another.
What's the name of that one, John?
Walking with Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Which I think would have been a cool thing to do.
And which book was that in?
That's in the order of things. You got that one, Brenda?
I don't think so. I have Blessed Earth and Refuge.
Oh, okay, that's the third one. Oh, we should get you some of the other ones. Pretty soon I'll have 5. Oh my God.
Well, why not?
Yeah, really. All I have to do is sit in the backyard and watch the birds. Okay, well, one more from me. This is called Salmon. I wrote this I was up in Washington, the state of Washington, up by the ocean, where a river came through. Salmon. Fishermen line up on the beach. Many boats patrol offshore, all wanting to catch spawning salmon. The salmon yearning to return to that mountain stream of their birth. Next to one fisherman lies a dying coho salmon, half in the water, half out. In my youth I enjoyed fishing, but now I'm sad watching him occasionally jump with life, breathing the terrible air. I'd rather he made it past the humans and the bears. I walk down the beach, sit on a bleached driftwood log, its living outer layer long stripped off, like the salmon soon to be filleted off the bone. Once standing tall in a forest, now resting here, after how many years rolling in the sea? The scene makes a pretty picture. The river, the fishermen, the steel bridge up above. If I took a photo, it would be frozen in time. I could remember, and if I remembered me there too, then the salmon would be swimming free up the stream. The tree would stand beautiful in the forest. Life would be everywhere, and death irrelevant. Maybe. Okay, well, let's read one of Glenda's. Yours are always more elegant than mine.
Not hardly.
Let's see, where are you? There you are. You sent me 2. Which one do you want me to read? Anatomy of a Poem or 1,000 Breaks?
Anatomy of a Poem, I think.
Okay. I can save the other one for next time. Anatomy of a Poem. Poem is like a snapshot of a novel, with permission to embellish and license to paint. Word pictures of roads not taken, or sights unseen, or thoughts born of solitude, sounds unheard. A book on a page born simply from need, to express what is felt, to say what is seen. each line a brushstroke, a painted word, across the canvas of my mind, trickling out in rivulets of free verse or rhyme. How else to explain what a poet might write about imagined places or thinking imagined times? The joy of a poem is its very whimsy. To read a poem, its simple point. True, too true.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and read your second one too. 1,000 breaks. You broke my heart 1,000 times, each time a deeper cut. But some say these breaks are simply there to let the light shine through. Yeah, that's beautiful. So we dance a dance around the light, sometimes stumbled into gray. We patched the worst and reveled in the best, brought sun into lives of rain. And when at last you finally left, I gathered all the breaks and made memories bound from broken pain, and placed them in a wooden box, spirited them away. Now I write of what once was, remember all the breaks, and wonder what the purpose was for dancing outside the rain. Also lovely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Well, I bought a new book the other day. I saw it at my friend's house and I ordered it. It's by You Are Here, Poems in the Natural World, edited by Ada Limon. I haven't read too much of it, but I thought I'd read a few of them. A lot of these are newer poets I don't actually know, which is kind of nice to meet newer poets. This one's by Jose Olivarez.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara.
Okay. It's called You Must Be Present. I say to myself when the what where's all up in the how now trees, I turn to the trees for relief. And they say, nah, don't look at us. You don't even know our names. You don't even know the difference between an oak tree and a maple tree. I doubt they say that. It's true. My relationship with love, nature, money, fill in the blank, is like my relationship to weather. I only see it when it's pouring on my head. I'm sorry to the trees I grew up with. I didn't ask, I never learned, or even wonder about their names, their families, their longings. I only dreamed of me. Climbing onto their shoulders, honestly, I was a ladybug to them, only heavier and more annoying. Those trees I grew up with were generations older than me. They were practiced at living in a way I will never understand at all. All I could imagine was the view from their crown. Oak trees, they were oak trees with all their history of migration rooted in Calumet City, like me. If I asked them for answers, I wouldn't have understood. Sunlight, water, sunlight, water, sunlight, water. That was hard to read.
I
That.
don't like her.
Oh, it's a guy, Jose
Oh,
Oliveras. I never heard of him. This one by somebody named Dorian, Laux, Luck. Lux? Is that French? No, excuse me for coughing. She wrote one called Redwoods. I thought I'd read that. I live in the Redwoods, or did, when I was a kid. Redwoods. The first time I entered a forest, I saw the trees, and, of course, huddled together in rings, thin veils of mist between their branches, some dead but still standing, or fallen thigh bones on the desiccated floor. But I also saw the great buttery platters of fungus climbing like stepping stones. That's a good line. Up their shaggy trunks. Zadis. Zadi. That's Tzadee. I don't know what that means. Is that a bird name? Each a different size, small to large or large to small, as if some rogue architect had been cocky enough to install them on the stunned trees. Northern sides, leading up to the balcony of their 1-ton boughs. I was here to investigate my place among them, these giants, 3,000 years old, still here, living in my lifetime. I should have felt small, a mere human, petty in my clumsy boots, burrs in my socks, while these trees held a glossary of stars in their crowns, their heads up there in the croissant-shaped clouds. That's a good one. The wisdom of the ages flowing up through from root to branchlet. Though rather I felt large inside my life, the sum of Jung's archetypes, the self, the shadow, the anima, the persona of my personhood, fully recognized and finally accepted, the nugget of my being, my shadow of plush light. I felt like I was climbing up those fungal discs toward something endless, beyond my birth and death, into my here-ness and now-ness, the scent and silence overwhelming me, seeping back into my pores. You had to have been there to know such joy. Fear intermingled, my limbs tingling, ancient, mute. Huh. He's an interesting poet. Well, my friend Ellen couldn't come today, but she's been talking about this poet named Ellen Bass, and I actually met her. I actually saw Ellen Bass read one time here in East Bay, and she happens to have something in this anthology. So this is by Ellen Bass, Lighthouse. It's late, and I'm pushing the baby in the stroller through the lighthouse field. The grasses give off the damp straw smell of darkness coming on. Walk, the baby commands, so I unbuckle the strap and set her down. It's February 1st, and the ground's still swollen from the atmospheric rivers that flooded California. We were up till 4 a.m. with sump pumps and sandbags, schlepping every sopping towel and blanket and bathrobe, while the baby slept in her crib. There are no cars here in the field, and she can have a little sovereignty as she wanders behind me. And faintly I hear her singing to herself, "Twinkle, twinkle," the whole song, like Diamond Sky. She's almost 2. I'm 75. I won't be here when the worst of what's coming comes. I think about it, and then I try not to think about it. And then I try to think, because if we don't, but I can hardly grasp it. I mean her in it, the tiny glint of her voice. Something starts to collapse. Love and dread are brethren, said a mystic woman in the Middle Ages. For a moment, the sun reclines in the bare branches of the maples. They're rinsed with gold, and then the light is gone. The tree is itself again. It's time to return the baby to her father. The long beam of the lighthouse strobes the path. I put her in the stroller and start walking fast. Oh, that's the end. Okay, that's the last line. I put her in the stroller and start walking fast. Huh. Okay. One pass. How much time we got? A little bit. Here's something by James Wright. I think I've read this before, but for some reason I like it a lot. It's funny, James Wright can also write some really downbeat, sort of sad poems, but he also writes some sort of ecstatic ones. Maybe he's a manic depressive, yeah. Like most creative people. A blessing. Just off the highway to Rochester, Minnesota, twilight bounds softly forth on the grass, and the eyes of those two Indian ponies darken with kindness. They have come gladly out of the willows to welcome my friend and me. We step over the barbed wire into the pasture, where they have been grazing all day alone. They ripple tensely. They can hardly contain their happiness that we have come. They bow shyly as wet swans. They love each other. There is no loneliness like theirs. At home once more, they begin munching the young tufts of spring in the darkness. I would like to hold the slender one in my arms, for she has walked over to me and nuzzled my left hand. She is black and white. Her mane falls wild on her forehead, and the light breeze moves me to caress her long ear that is delicate as the skin of her girl's wrist. Suddenly I realize that if I stepped out of my body, I would break into blossom. Here's one called Milkweed. While I stood here in the open, lost in myself, I must have looked a long time down the corn rows, beyond grass, the small house, white walls, animals lumbering toward the barn. I look down now, it's all changed. Whatever it was I lost, whatever I wept for, was a wild, gentle thing, small dark eyes, loving me in secret. It is here, at the touch of my hand. The air fills with delicate creatures from the other world. I like that. Let's read a few more and then we'll go to Mary. This is by somebody named Blaise Cendrars. Aleutian Islands. High cliffs lashed by icy polar winds. In the center of lush meadows, reindeer, elks, muskoxen, the Arctic foxes, the beavers, brooks swarming with fish. A low beach has been prepared to breed fur seals. On top of the cliff are collected the eider's nest. Its feathers are worth a real fortune. That was one. This is two. Large and sturdy buildings which shelter a considerable number of traders. All around a small garden where all vegetation able to withstand the severe climate has been brought together. Mountain ash, pine trees, Arctic willows, bed of heather and alpine plants. Number 3, bay spiked with rocky islets. In groups of 5 or 6, the seals bask in the sun. On stretching out in the sand, they play together, howling in the dark, howling in a kind of hoarse tone that sounds like dogs bark. Next to an Eskimo's hut is a shed where the skins are treated. Here's one called Fish Cove. The water is so clear and so calm. Deep at the bottom, you can see the white bushes of coral, the prismatic sway of hanging jellyfish, the yellow-pink lilac fish taking flight. And at the foot of the wavy seaweeds, the azure sea cucumbers and urchins, green and purple. Harvest. A 6-cylinder car and 2 Fords in the middle of the field. In every direction as far as the horizon, the slightly slanting swaths crisscrossing a wavering diamond-shaped checkerboard pattern. Not a tree. From the north comes down the rumble and rattle of the automobile thrasher and forage wagon. And from the south come 12 empty trains to pick up the wheat. Alrighty. I think it's time to read some Mary and then be done. Here's one of Mary that is numbered. Sometimes, number 1. Something came up out of the dark. It wasn't anything I'd ever seen before. It wasn't an animal or a flower, unless it was both. Something came up out of the water. A head the size of a cat, but muddy and without ears. I don't know what God is. I don't know what death is. But I believe they have between them some fervent and necessary arrangement. Number 2. Sometimes melancholy leaves me breathless. Number 3. Later, I was in a field full of sunflowers. I was feeling the heat of midsummer. I was thinking of the sweet electric drowse of creation when it began to break. In the west, clouds gathered, thunderheads. In an hour, the sky was filled with them. In an hour, the sky was filled with the sweetness of rain and the blast of lightning, followed by the deep bells of thunder. Water from the heavens, electricity from the source, both of them mad to create something. The lightning brighter than any flower, the thunder without a drowsy bone in its body. Number 4. Instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. Number 5. 2 or 3 times in my life I discovered love. Each time it seemed to solve everything. Each time it solved a great many things, but not everything. Yet left me as grateful as if it had indeed and thoroughly solved everything. Number 6. God, rest in my heart and fortify me. Take away my hunger for answers. Let the hours play upon my body. Like the hands of my beloved, let the cat head appear again, the smallest of your mysteries, some wild cousin of my own blood probably, some cousin of my own wild blood probably, in the black dinner bowl of the pond. Number 7, death waits for me, I know it, around one corner or another. This doesn't amuse me, neither does it frighten me. After the rain, I went back into the field of sunflowers. It was cool, and I was anything but drowsy. I walked slowly and listened to the crazy roots in the drenched earth, laughing and growing. All right, dear ones. I'm going to toddle on here.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, lovely to hear you, Glenda and Brenda and Barbara. And great. Well, I'll see you all next week. Have a lovely week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.